Okay, so we've got Charlie Kirk here doing what he normally does, which is being on a college campus and debating, oh, that's a bit of a strong word, sort of challenging weak viewpoints from students who haven't really done much research or thinking. So let's see what he says here.
If I went to Mexico without being invited or allowed and I took a job and the Mexican government found out, what would the Mexican government do to me?
I'm not sure.
They would send me back to America.
And why was the reason you left the U.S. first?
So reason, that's an interesting thing. Is there ever a legitimate reason, in your opinion, to commit a crime?
No.
Well, then the reason doesn't matter. Because under that say, so can you rob a bank because you wish you had more money?
No, you work harder.
Then why doesn't that moral standard apply to immigration?
Because the system isn't doing its job. That's why I think we should implement more money. Because there is some people, like I do get it. You know, some people come here and then I do admit some of them commit crime, but not all of them.
No, but they're all criminals if they came illegally. That's the distinction. By definition, they're breaking federal law 8 U.S.C. 1312. Just their presence here is against the law. If somebody comes into America without invitation and they are illegal, what do you think the penalty should be?
I think it's humane to look at their case and why they had to leave everything they've ever known.
We believe that we should send them back to their country of origin. California is a cluttered state with social services that are being strained, and we need a pause on all immigration, in my opinion, to metaphorically digest the major meal that we just ate, or else we are going to have a major assimilation problem, cultural problem, cohesion problem, all sorts of issues. And I know this is a provocative thing to say, but immigration is something that you use as a way to benefit the homeland. You don't have to have immigration.
Yeah, so interesting points there from Charlie. Obviously, the context of this video is American. However, we can apply this to the UK as well. You know, you mentioned that California is a cluttered state. It's getting full. Similar to the UK, really. We're also getting to a breaking point in terms of, how much space there is, housing, public services, etc., etc. And then obviously the big problem with assimilation and them integrating properly and actually contributing. And just like Charlie said at the end, you do not need immigration. It's not needed in a country that is that big. Therefore, if there is immigration, it has to be beneficial to the country. For example, adding value to the economy and also adding expertise and knowledge to science, public services, etc. And that's the big question now: is that happening? The answer is probably no. As we've seen the last sort of 20, 30 years, the immigration has really been more negative than positive. Back in the days of the sort of Windrush generation, they were much more positive, came here and integrated, settled into British life and contributed to our country economically and also in the public services. And, her view there was interesting because she was saying, that not all of them come here and commit crimes, which is true. However, then it switched to illegal immigration where, again, if you are enter the country illegally, in my opinion, and as Charlie also said there, you are committing a crime, therefore you should instantly be deported, whether there's a good reason or not to come, because it's illegal to enter a country without papers and by bypassing the border, which is what illegal immigration is, right? But yeah, as usual, it's always the case in these videos. You see these people turn up and just have no arguments. You can just tell that the people who come on these shows and challenge Charlie, and who you often see on social media as well yourself, they just regurgitate something that they've seen from somewhere else, from social media, from school, university, college, whatever. And then when actually you start questioning them, there's nothing coming back. I mean, you saw with her there was nothing coming back. Just a weak argument, a weak challenging point that just got shut down immediately. So yeah, what do you think about these people, defending illegal migrants to begin with, actually crossing the border? Do you think there's ever an excuse to cross a border illegally? Basically, is the question that I've got for you.